Hey everybody, welcome to Not a Boring Real Estate Podcast. We are your hosts, Ryan Domas,
I'm Diego Vasquez.
and we're here to talk about real estate in a not so boring way. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things as these episodes develop. Our goal here is to get some heavy hitters in the industry, and we're going to be talking at different places, restaurants, bars, and places of interest.
Yeah, we're going to be telling you all the shit that people don't talk about or maybe don't tell you about. This is something where we really want to educate the masses so that way you guys can think for yourselves and not just go based off of whatever your auntie or uncle have told you about the market crashing and whatnot. But there's going to be so much more to it. All of our guests have different things that they have to offer, whether it be, in business, marketing, or buying or selling homes. We're going to get industry professionals that have real insight so that way, again, you guys can make your own decisions when it comes to buying, selling, or anything with the market.
Yeah, 100%. Perfect example is right now. Diego, is it a right time or the wrong time to buy and sell?
Ooh, okay. So I've spoken about this before, and really it just depends on you. I think the funniest thing in the world that I hear is it's a bad time to buy from someone that doesn't even own a house, right? You've never even bought a house. How are you going to give me financial advice about buying a home, right? Now, if I were to say it's a bad time, well, for who? Who are we talking about? For somebody who can't afford it? Of course it's a bad time to buy. It's going to be a bad time to buy until you can't afford it. But if I am preparing, I can handle the payment, I know where to look for, then I think it's the best time to buy. What do you think?
I think it's up to your own finances.
Yeah.
Yep. And people are bombarded right now by three things: inflation, gas prices, and the war in Ukraine. And I think we just are all a little bit tired, and we just need a really good summer right now. I think a lot of people are just distracted and they just want to have a really good time. They've been pushing off those vacations for a couple years, and it all came to a head. People are wondering, why don't I have enough buyers through my open house? It's probably because they're on vacation. So I think that might be a big factor.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that a lot. So what's happening right now? There are still homes on the market. There's not that many, right? We still have a little bit of a low inventory, but the ones that are there, they've been sitting on the market. Some people that have been looking, I think they've noticed that the homes are dropping like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 because they haven't had any traffic. Right now, those agents, some of them, they're freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, nobody's come to look at my house in 1 week." But what was the typical, like before this whole craziness? What was the typical time before somebody would actually get an offer accepted, or actually get an offer in before it was like, "Oh, after this weekend, the home's gone." Mm-hmm. I'm asking.
Oh, I remember when it was you list that home in 48 hours and you got several offers. And that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. So what do you think the time frame is for some of the realtors out there that are freaking out that they haven't gotten 20 offers in 2 days?
I would say give it 3 weeks. And that's something that you want to tell your seller right away when you take that listing, that this is not the same thing that was happening 6 months ago. Give me 3 weeks to really get something going on here. Because if you do get that offer in the first week, you're going to look like a big shot. You're going to exceed those expectations. So don't do what I've done before, which is set expectations too high and tell them what happened with your last listing. I've done that before. I've gone into a listing appointment and said, hey, the last one I just sold, we listed that. It got all the offers in 48 hours. And then you look really bad when you don't repeat that process.
You look stupid.
Yeah, you look really
You're
dumb.
Like, shit, man,
Yeah.
I fucked up. Why did I shot myself in the foot?
Yeah.
And then for buyers, right, because they're coming in and they're like, well, my rate's freaking 6%. I can't afford this payment. So again, that's where it comes back to. If your loan officer gives you the correct expectations, I think what we have to do is set the correct expectations. If they're telling you, all right, listen, this is what your payment's going to be, right? So even on the lowest end, a lot of first-time home buyers, they barely qualify for $400,000, right? Mm-hmm. Where in Orange County are you going to find a house for $400,000? It's just not possible. So you have to set the expectations. Listen, number one, the payment with your taxes, insurance, your PMI, all that good stuff, because everybody wants those first-time home buyer programs. Your payment's still roughly going to be between $2,800 to $3,200 for a $400,000 home. So get that, just burn that into your brain. The payment's going to be high. Now, don't get me wrong. In the next 2 or 3 years, hopefully everything calms down. Hopefully sooner, and then you can refinance, and then your payment can drop another $200-300. But don't wait for the rates to come down, because then the values are just going to keep rising, and you're still in the same position with no house. So at least you get yourself into the house first. You get started in the game of Monopoly, right? You get yourself around the board a couple times, meaning you make your payments, you bring down that loan amount, and once you refinance, your payments lower, you're in a much better position. And who knows? I mean, by then you're probably doing better financially. You can sell that home, buy an even better home, or get yourself closer to Orange County if that's what you're looking for, or wherever you're living.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And remember, it all comes down to the client and what they want.
Oh, I heard that you just got Ghislaine Maxwell as a client?
Yep. In fact, believe it or not, she's calling right now. Why don't you pick up the phone and ask her what she's looking for?
Hello, Ghislaine.
Hello. Is this Diego?
This is Diego.
You
How are you?
handsome realtor, you. Oh my God.
So why are you shopping for...
I need big closets to put lots of children in.
How are you shopping for a house in prison?
Well, it's because I've got some back channels through the CIA and MI6 and all my old connections,
Yeah.
But what I really need, Diego, is just big closets.
Big closets.
Very big closets.
Like underground.
Underground, the less lighting, the better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
So let me ask you, are you get out of here, I'm done. Okay. Shoot. So let's go kind of revert back. So again, we're talking about right time to buy, wrong time to buy.
Yeah.
So let's just say one of your clients for listing their property, right? Same thing. They're like, why would I sell my house if I'm locked in a good rate, and where the hell would I even buy? Have you had that issue yet?
Yeah. I've had people that want to start in a certain city, then they find out what city they qualify in, and then they're really disappointed because they want to live by the beach and they think it costs $500 a month. And that's a big problem. And our generation here is in a world of renting. And we've got friends out there that are renting and maybe feel like they're going to rent forever. So it's our goals to educate them in a not so boring way, because this is the Not So Boring podcast. So, I mean, in terms of educating people, we want to do it in a fun way,
Okay.
which is why we interview human traffickers on our show.
Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely. We keep it interesting.
So Ryan, what's going on in Wall Street?
What's going on Wall Street is a panic. It's not crashing, but people are figuring out that stuff that was valuable 2 years ago, like a Peloton, is not as valuable as now. And the problem is that real estate brokerages are tied to Wall Street. Not all of them, but some of them are. We won't name who is and who isn't. If you're in a company that is on Wall Street, I would have your sirens and your alerts going, because realtors are not agents and brokers are not making your decisions anymore. If the Wall Street is going down, then you've got investors, shareholders, some heavy hitters, some billionaires on Wall Street. They're going to want your company to do things that you're not going to want happen. So I would keep your ears and eyes open over the next 6 months, because we did see companies, cut 10% of their staff, and we could expect some more cuts. But in terms of brokerages being tied to Wall Street and Wall Street starts going down, then you're not having agents and brokerages make those decisions anymore. You're having people that don't care about agents, don't care about people. They care about their own money, and that's where things get dangerous, is when you have asset managers that don't know your name, don't even know the name of your brokerage or what city you're in, telling your boss they need to close your branch. And that's not good. That's not good. Save money.
They're coming for you guys.
Yeah.
The Wall Street guys are coming for you.
Yes, they are. Especially
They're
now.
gonna fire you.
Yeah. When they're making money, they don't like you.
Teamsters are coming.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's when Moose and Rocco come out to help you find the wallet. Yeah. That's not good. Let's start on a new segment here with Diego. I have a question for you.
Okay, ask away.
Okay, Diego, you have something called The Sale Starts at No. I want to know, what is this about? The Sale Starts at No. Tell us.
Yeah, so for realtors, I mean, anybody in the sales business, they're so quick to get off the phones, especially when it comes to cold calling, right? But it happens throughout, where as soon as the person tells you no, you are like a deer in the headlights. You have no idea what to do, so you're just like, oh, okay, bye, right? But like, are you really a salesman if you're able to close a deal, which we call a lay down, where they're just like, yeah, no problem, okay, let's do it? That's not a sale at all. That's just a customer service. I got this done because you wanted to do it regardless. But as soon as they tell you no, like let's say you're recruiting, and the first thing they say, I'm happy where I'm at. Well, that's your first no. So rather than say, oh, okay, cool, well, thank you so much for your time, I'll talk to you later, you say, okay, well, listen, our brokerage is averaging 1.8 million per sale. That's huge. What's your current average? And they're like, well, shit, I'm only closing like 700,000 roughly. And it's like, well, what would you do, or what would you say if I was able to get you into that $2 million range?
Okay, so basically what you're saying is the sales call doesn't even start until you hear the first no.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So that's awesome, because I'd say about 90% of realtors, including me, was doing it wrong. Because when I heard that no, I want to get off the phone, and I learned real quickly that that's not going to work. I just keep hearing no's and hanging up, and they're the shortest phone conversations I ever had. Is when I'm trying to cold call.
Which is almost like you're like, why did I even do this? I just wasted my own time, and then you like hate life because you're just sitting there making phone calls for no reason. Right? I mean, at this point, you're literally just bugging people.
Yeah.
So it's always a 3-strike rule, right? Get 3 no's before you're like, all right, I'm done, right? You always come, they say no, you give them a value proposition, ask a question, and then they say no. Do it again, 3 strikes, you're out.
So it's like dating in the 50s. Because they tell you no 5 times and you still keep going. But because dating in 2022, it's like you don't even get a no and you can't even.
Yeah. So you're saying that it was like slightly rapey in the 50s?
Yeah. So you got to be slightly rapey on the sales call.
Yes, but luckily I'm far enough away from them I won't get a sexual harassment lawsuit.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit. Sorry for the viewers, but hey, man, I told you this is not a boring real estate podcast.
We have Ghislaine Maxwell. We're gonna have strippers, clowns, and midgets later, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Ryan's favorite.
I know. So
yeah,
anyway.
You should see his Amex card. It's just full of like Humaniplex, TJ. It's a lot.
Exotic. I know it's tough.
Yeah. Vegas and not the nice side, like North Vegas is where he's usually at. So I heard you got kicked out of Vegas. What happened there?
I got kicked out of Vegas because I walked up to Steve Wynn and I said, Steve Wynn, I think you should join my brokerage. And he's like, I'm not even a realtor. And I said, that's fine. Let me sell your hotel for you. And he's like, I'm not selling the Wynn. And I said, too late. I got a sales sign out front. And he goes, take that sales sign out right now. And I said, too late. I got an offer. And then he kicked me out of his hotel.
That was it?
That was it.
Oh,
I told him, I said, I got somebody who's ready to buy this place for $500.
I heard something along the lines of you like hitting on his wife.
Yeah, that happened too. Yeah.
Not a boring real estate podcast, guys.
That's right, folks. We keep it interesting over here.
So we're going to be talking about sales stuff. Again, I want to help realtors. I want to help loan officers. I want to help everybody that we can with this podcast. There's going to be something for everyone in every episode. We're going to make sure to segment it correctly so that way if you want to skip past some stuff, you'll know where to go and look for what you need. There's going to be, again, some real cool stuff about sales. There's going to be some real cool stuff about how to start your own business. Again, we have some killers that are going to be coming over. Like I said, they do Airbnb. They have multiple Airbnb listings all over the country, different parts of the world. And they're going to show you how they do it. And then you can, we're going to link you up with them if you're interested. And I know you have some real heavy hitters in the real estate business that are just dying to be on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. We're going to have Donald Trump on. Bernie Madoff is going to be calling. Anybody that was ever in a Ponzi scheme is going to be on our show.
Oh, so,
yeah, absolutely. And then Jeffrey Epstein's going to be the last episode because we got to hit it with a bang.
We got to hit it with a bang.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
No.
He's not dead. Now there's Tupac. Tupac's going to be on here. Elvis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good to hear from everybody, whether they're alive or even real or not. Even if they're not even real, you still want to hear their opinion on real estate.
Who's not real that you want to hear their opinion?
Well, Santa Claus is real. but the jury's still out on the tooth fairy.
Tooth Fairy.
Yeah.
Tuth. Tooth
Yes.
Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would like to know, what questions have you gotten from friends, family members about real estate?
Let's see. Is a monthly income of $800 enough to buy a house?
Fucking A, dude. I get that a lot.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, I got a budget of $800 a month to buy a house with.
So I started doing videos like back in like 2018, 2019. And it was mainly because I just got into the business. I didn't have like a real estate firm or brokerage that was teaching me what to do or where to go. So I was like, let me just hit Facebook and Instagram. And then I was getting, God bless their heart, I was getting some friends that are like, hey, I got a 540 credit score. I get paid under the table, and I can afford a payment of $1,000 a month. What can I buy? And I'm like, fucking dude, they won't even give you a piece of gum. Mm-hmm. For like I wouldn't lend you $500, mm-hmm. much less $500,000 to buy a house. Mm-hmm. So I started doing these videos to just try to educate them. Like, listen, like, don't waste my fucking time. Look at the video mm-hmm. before you think about calling me and asking me stupid questions.
Yeah.
And then once you've seen the video, like, we can talk about, okay, first let's focus on your credit, right? Because 9 times out of 10 they have shitty credit if they don't make much, which it's not your fault. It's that we haven't been educated on this stuff as youngins, right? These are the things that we should have learned about in high school. But yeah, so unless you're making roughly, a household income like $10,000 a month, you're not going to buy anywhere in Orange County. And then think about it. They look at your debt to income ratio, which we can get into later, but a lender is looking at how much do you make per month versus how much you spend per month on your credit. So if you have personal loans, credit card payments, student loans, car payments, all of that stuff adds up. And it's not, I don't care if you owe $1 million, but if your payment is $1,000 and you only make $2,000 a month, well, now you only have $1,000 and your payment's going to be freaking $3,000-4,000. It just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
You need to make double whatever your monthly payment is, and that's why you got to talk to a loan officer instead of just running. Like, again, a realtor will mm-hmm. send you at least in the right direction on who to speak to, right? But it's for you to start looking at homes and then telling your realtor friend, like, hey, can you go show me homes? Get pre-qualified first before you waste your own time and your friend, the realtor's time. Shoot, they're not getting paid hourly. They got to go and take you to see homes, and you might 3 months later say, you know what, I give up. I can't find the damn home.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're talking about debt to income ratio. When you say, basically whatever you're making, you got to have about 50% of that going straight to your house. So that's a debt income ratio.
Debt to income ratio. So if you make if your payment is going to be $3,000, you need to make roughly $6,500. That's assuming you don't have any monthly payments on your credit cards, car payments.
And of course they
payments.
do. They have payments.
Oh, dude, this is Orange County, bro.
So tell me why, most often than not, people in Orange County don't have the money to buy a house. Why is that?
Oh my God. Okay. So it's because you're all in insane amount of debt because everybody's just trying to keep up with the Joneses and look like they're ballers, and they're not. Funny story. I moved when I was young. I read The Secret, and I was like, oh my God, I'm moving to Cabo. I'm out of here. I'm gonna be an expat. I'm gonna go be a waiter and just be on the beach and hook up with a bunch of chicks. And I ended up landing a timeshare job. Right. I'm 21 years old. I'm over here hey, timeshare. It was horrible. I never thought I'd ever be in sales. But what I noticed is these guys who were actually really good at the job, they would be able to spot, literally, if they saw somebody from Orange County, they would not even talk to them.
Wow.
Why do you think that?
Because Orange County people don't know how to manage their money? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, so they would see people from, Wyoming or something, and they're like, oh my God, cash cow.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'd see somebody from Orange County, and they're like, Rolex,
mm-hmm.
have designer everything on. They're like, I don't want to talk to that person.
All hat, no cattle. That's what they call it.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
I love that. All hat, no cattle.
Yeah.
So and it
that's just a lifestyle down here. We get Lamborghinis before we start paying a mortgage. That's sort of the life in South OC,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, and you know what? It's because so many of us don't think that we're ever going to be able to afford a house.
That's true.
But you just haven't even took the time to say, let me talk to someone and get a freaking, just lay out the plan and try to get there eventually.
So basically the lesson to learn here is that chances are we are not the financial expert that we need to talk to. We need to talk to somebody else who's done this before.
Talk to Diego. Diego's the guy.
Yep, Diego's the man. And so this is a good segue. Who are you? Are you a realtor? Are you a lender? Are you both? What are you?
Yeah, I'm both. So I started off in 2013 working as a telemarketer for a loan company. Worked my way up. I ended up being one of their top closers. 2018 is the rates actually went up to about 5%. So they're roughly about where they were back in 2018 right now. Actually, a little bit higher. So I decided, let me do real estate since I already have an awesome background in loans. I know I can at least hold a candle. By the way, I thought real estate was so easy. I did not know what the hell I was in for. Thank God Ryan was a good buddy of mine because I would just blow him up every time I had a transaction. Another story, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I ended up doing real estate so I can I wasn't getting any refinances. Like right now, I don't know. There's got to be a ton of loan officers out there that were eating Mastros for lunch like every day. They're eating cup of noodles every day now.
Mm-hmm.
They're broke because they thought that they were freaking big ballers, that everything was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Their refinance market is done. They don't know what the hell to do. They've never even talked to a realtor because they didn't think they needed to. Because loan officers would be like, well, if I'm going to make a bunch of money, I better do refinances because why would I do a pre-qual for you and you might not even sell the damn house for 6 months when I can just do all these refis?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They fucked that up.
Yeah, they did.
So
they
the smart ones made friends with me and you,
Mm-hmm.
and now we send them a ton of business. We're the big swinging dicks.
Yeah, big point. No,
Yeah.
that's a big point because I think that you've got such expertise from a lending background that when you became a realtor, you were miles ahead of realtors because you could speak the lending language. So I'm a realtor.
You're a fucking awesome realtor.
I grew up in the business. My parents were both realtors, but that's not what I wanted to do. Went to film school in Chicago, came back to LA, and was in reality TV doing camera work. Worked on some real estate shows, and I went, wow, these realtors have a much better life than I do.
Yeah,
And
Casting Couch you were really good on Casting Couch. You were awesome on Casting Couch. You know, look up realtor really needs to make a sale. You'll love that one.
Oh man, that's great. And then like my first month like being in a real estate office, I was like, wow, people actually respect each other here. I mean, because in reality TV, it's like if the coffee's not hot enough, you're fired. You know, if you show up late, then you might not be back the next day.
That's real?
That's reality TV for you.
But
everything is
I
fake.
thought that was like full of shit. Like they would that really happens.
That really happens. Yeah, people stabbing each other in the back for a $2 raise. That happens a lot too.
Wow.
Yeah, and so there's good people in reality TV.
So it's not just at McDonald's that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, there's good people in reality TV. I haven't come across them, but I've heard they're out there. So
yeah, there's 4-leaf clovers out there too.
No, for real. No, there's plenty of good people in reality TV. And then I love doing this because we're actually helping people. We can make money helping people, making them happy. Having people say, I need to be in this house by September so my kid could get into this school and then actually making it happen, that's rewarding.
My dog. Good shit.
That's why we do it.
Yeah, we're in the business of helping people, and I'm like, same thing. I feel so blessed when I get to help some of these families. I've stressed out so much. Some of my friends are like, I don't know how the fuck you do this, because they're a pain in my ass when we're doing these deals. And I have like 7 clients, and they all individually have something, some hurdle that we have to get over. But the end result is always just them like damn near breaking down in tears from happiness, and me feeling great about myself because I actually helped someone.
That's good. And we should give a shout out to Mark, because he's here helping us out.
Mark.
He's our producer of the show.
Dude, Mark Moncayo, good buddy of mine. He'll fuck you up too, but he's a good friend. Killer in the background over here. Look, show him your sexy face, brother.
He's got an awesome shirt on. Loving the Hawaiian shirt.
I know.
He's full of good energy. I feel like we got a good team here, and we want to bring you interesting content, and we will be interviewing some very big heavy hitters in the industry that are not the tooth fairy and that are not human traffickers. We're going to bring some real people that do business, and we're going to build shows around them. You know, people that recruit, people that are top sellers, people that work with celebrities, some big things that are going to keep you interested. And, you know, shout out to all the other real estate podcasts out there. We invite you to be on our show. We could be on your show too. You might not want us there.
Broke Agent, dude. You guys are going to be on our podcast. I guarantee it.
Yeah, Broke Agent. I mean, Overask. Overask is such a great podcast. Those guys are awesome. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, they really came to a big play when we were talking about doing this podcast. Of course, shout out to Tim Dillon. I mean, he is the king of all kings of podcasting.
Tim Dillon.
He's the man.
That's why he started talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm like, oh my God.
We had to throw that in there. Oh, without a doubt. Shout out to Ray Kump, everybody that's inspired us to do this. Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. This is our first episode test round.
First episode.
Yeah, where we plan to go is restaurants, bars, you know, a billionaire, oil tycoon's yacht.
That one sick ass garage that we were at.
Yeah, CIA black sites. Where else are we gonna do it?
Fucking Area 51.
Area 51's gonna be a good one.
Your mom's house.
Yes.
Shoot, who else? Your mom's house.
Yeah. Dude, she would love for us to come over. I mean, she would bust out the Chardonnay. We would have a great time interviewing my mom.
Yeah, like in all seriousness, his mom's like awesome.
Oh, she's awesome. We will definitely interview her sometime.
Shoot.
Yeah, this went pretty well, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we even had Ghislaine Maxwell call in. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, who's got access to her right now? Diego and Ryan on the Not a Boring Real Estate podcast.
Have access to her.
Yes, she will be on the show as much as you want. And if you could think of anybody, hit us up on Instagram. Tell us who you'd like to see on our show. Maybe we'll consider it, and maybe we won't.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, fucking hit us up. That's the point of this whole thing. We really want to be able to be heavy on the public and what you guys want and answer these questions that you guys have because, again, I think the biggest problem that everybody has right now is indecision and misinformation.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're getting all this information from everywhere and all you can think of is, fuck, I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to sit here and fucking buy a fucking $50,000, I don't know, Subaru or some stupid fucking car. So,
and they think it's lame. Sometimes when we educate people, it sounds lame. So we try to make it as interesting as possible.
And we're not a boring real estate fucking podcast.
That's right, because our generation does not want to save money. Our generation, when they get a high paycheck, where are they going?
Fucking
Vegas.
Titty bar.
Yeah,
Hong Kong.
We've all been in that situation
awesome
where we get that check and we're not thinking about what we're going to pay off. We're thinking about how much closer is this going to get me to dating a girl I want to date or me meeting a hot girl in Vegas.
This is true.
Or because, you know, so much of making money now in our generation is about who we're going to meet. And that's probably the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. I mean, at least if you have trouble hanging on to money, then figure out what you're going to use to invest it with. But again, that's something boring that we're trying to make not so boring and explain to you in a really cool way. So that's what we're here for.
That's right. We're here for you. We're going to be here for you as often as we possibly can. We hope that you are still listening to this podcast since it's begun. And we look forward to seeing you again.
What's your IG handle?
My IG handle is RyRy334.
Fucking lame.
I know.
Mine's Diego V Realtor. That's easy, right? Diego V Realtor. Check me out. You can also check out my personal page if you want to just tell me how hot I look. Diego_Bossa Nova. That's me. You should be like, hey, I want to suck.
No, you have a nickname, and that nickname is Rico Suave. There's reasons why. Because you're handsome and you're buttery on the phone.
Buttery.
Nobody sounds better on the phone than this guy.
You think I'm like a 35-year-old white male named Ryan Domas.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
great. Thanks, everybody.